got one of my great friends, Kaila, here. How you say your last name?
You can't say Bryant. That's crazy.
I'm here with my friend Kaila Bryant, and I'm not going to edit this out.
Bryant like Kobe.
Like
why
Kobe.
You can't read?
Listen, I can't read. Listen.
That's crazy. He said I was a good friend, but he don't know my name.
Listen, no.
That's crazy.
Oh, gosh. So this is one of my good friends. We actually met in a church small group. She's been someone I can talk to, and then a sounding board. She's an amazing singer. And I appreciate it. Listen, I'm gonna put you out there. You be singing in the choir. Listen.
That's crazy you would say that, because I'm not.
Okay, don't let her lie to you. And she can cook.
That I can.
She can.
I'll take that.
So I appreciate it. So can you tell them a little bit more about yourself that I have?
Absolutely. So, hey everybody, I am Kaila B of Kaila B Cookin. Follow me on Instagram. I am from Marietta, Georgia, actually, which is just about 20 minutes north of Atlanta. I moved to Colorado Springs summer of 2022. I am active duty Air Force, stationed currently at the Air Force Academy here in Colorado Springs.
Okay, I see you. Listen, she do a big thing. So with that, has there been any like dreams or anything like that you've had in your life? I know you're in the Air Force, the active duty military, but kind of like what put you on that path to getting there? Tell us a little bit about that.
Actually, my path to the military was not supposed to be that.
Okay.
Cause like growing up, so my mom did 6 years in the Army when she first got out of high school.
Okay.
So by the time I came along, she was like long gone from the Army. But like military just was never in my purview. I never was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the military. Like I've never been that patriotic.
Okay.
So I went to college, Georgia Southern University.
Hey, Georgia Southern, I like that. HBCU.
Might as well. But I went to Georgia Southern, majored in exercise science and kinesiology.
Okay.
With plans to get a doctorate in physical therapy.
Okay.
So senior year came along, and that doctorate in physical therapy was gonna cost me $100,000. And it wasn't no way I was
$100,000. Listen, that's a hefty doctorate right there.
I wasn't even about to go get no loans for that, because I already had a couple of loans from undergrad. So I was like, that's crazy. I feel like the military paid for this.
Correct, they do.
And so my mama was like, well, Air Force or Navy, don't go Army.
It's not that bad.
It is that bad.
Okay.
And so she was like, you either want an Air Force or Navy. And it wasn't going to be the Navy because I can't swim, and I'm not going to be on no boat for months at a time. That's crazy. I get seasick.
Okay.
So yeah, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll go to the Air Force. So that kind of started my journey. And then my journey to even getting into the Air Force took a while because I came in as a commissioned officer.
Oh, okay.
My boards kept getting delayed because I think at that same time, it was 2013-ish. The Air Force was going through like some force restructuring, and so they were like pausing people coming in and stuff like that. So it took me like 2.5 years to get in.
2.5 years? That's a long path.
It was a very long path. But I knew that paycheck was gonna be good.
Correct.
So
Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, I ended up commissioning, or I left home. What's today?
Today
exactly 9 years ago. I left.
9 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, look at God. Listen.
I left. I started OTS in Montgomery, Alabama, at Maxwell Air Force Base.
Where is that at? Montgomery, Alabama. Okay.
Yep.
I was like dyslexia. The dyslexia. It was like Montgomery, Alabama. Maxwell. Where's Maxwell at?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's in Montgomery. And so I went through officer training school there.
Okay.
From January to March, and then I commissioned and I PCS'd, moved to Tyndall Air Force Base in Panama City, Florida, and that's where I started my career.
Listen,
So military wasn't what I thought, but here I am 9 years later.
9 years later, do you think you're gonna do the full 20? What's the point? Listen, that's that good retirement.
It is, right? Like that's the best business plan I could do. 20 years, and then I could retire and get a full retirement check, and plus a disability check.
Listen. Look, you got it.
Listen, at 45, I can retire.
Dang, that's so early. You
early.
Young, and you can have a whole nother
career afterwards, which is
whole nother career at 45. That makes so much sense. So with your life being how it is, what daily habits or routines have been most crucial to you to achieving your success?
Man, honestly, it ain't been nobody but God, man. Like and it's been like within the last year. Every morning I get up, I pray, I do some type of Bible study or devotional or journaling. Honestly, just make my days better.
Yeah.
Like I I'll have a rough day if I don't do that. Like I have an attitude with somebody, or I'm like quick to be upset at something or irritable, or just don't even feel like being at work or whatever, right? Like, so, I mean, granted, even when I do spend time with Jesus, I still don't even want to be at work.
Correct.
I don't think the Lord called me to work, honestly. I'm just waiting on him to deliver me.
Deliver me from working. To the Mega Millions. Listen, the Mega Millions. I
Lord, you hear my plea.
we hear. Yeah, I definitely feel the morning thing, because like I have to have my dedicated, morning times, because I notice it throughout the day. Like if I'm steady in my morning times and my morning routine, my day goes pretty well. But if it goes out of the whack, like I don't have my time with God, I don't do my prayer walk, and I'm like, somewhere else, or I'm traveling, it makes it extremely hard. Yeah, and then like it throws me off. I might have an attitude or something.
Yeah,
like
I'm telling you, it's rough.
It's rough, but we doing better. So looking back on your illustrious 9-year career, you've had an amazing career. What's one failure or challenge that ultimately turned out to be a blessing in disguise?
It wasn't a failure, but it was a challenge.
Okay.
Speaking of my career anyway. So when I first commissioned, I commissioned to be a rated officer, which is a flyer, right?
Okay.
So somebody who would fly. Not
necessarily
a pilot, but I was going to be, it's called an air battle manager.
Okay.
And so I would be on a plane, but they're kind of the people, I'll put it in like layman's terms. They're the folks who will be like, hey, F-16, the target is here. Go shoot this many bullets on this target, right? So something like that. So air battle manager, that's what I initially was. Now, my recruiter was like trying real hard to get me to be a pilot, and I was like, no, I don't want to fly, because I knew that eventually I wanted to like get married, have kids, and I didn't want to be away from my family as much as a pilot would have to be away.
That makes sense.
And also, I don't really like. I was never interested in flying, and I also knew that the Air Force had hundreds of other jobs that I could do.
Correct.
And so he was like, "Well, you did good on the navigation portion of the Air Force officer qualifying test." Okay. And I was like, "No way." Yeah. He said, "Go down to Warner Robins, take the pilot's test." And I was like, "Nah, I don't want to be a pilot."
Yeah, correct.
He was like, "Nah, just go take it. You'll be fine." I said, "I don't even know how to fly."
He was trying to get you to be a pilot.
Right? Listen. I said, "I don't know how to fly no plane." He was like, "Don't you play video games?" And I was like, "No."
It's not the same. It's not the
but
same.
No, I don't do either. So I go down there, take the pilot's test, and immediately I called my mama, like when I walked out the door, and said, "Bro, I failed that test so bad."
Really?
Because, yeah, I thought I had failed it so bad because like you move the joystick this way, but the plane back this way. This don't.
Yeah, it doesn't work right. Don't. Listen, I'm a video gamer, so I'm like, all right, I can figure it out a little bit. Listen,
that
but
did not,
you ain't.
My brain
that
was
hand-eye coordination, you need it.
Listen, I ain't got it. Okay, and a few weeks later, he calls me and was like, "Oh, you did great on the pilot's test." Bro, I know you lying to me. Like, he had to have it lying to me, right?
Correct.
And so, like, go through all that stuff, and then I was like, okay, well, I still don't want to be a pilot. He said, okay, well, you could be an air battle manager. He told me that it was like air traffic control.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll be on the tower. I can do that.
Yeah, correct. That's not bad.
It wasn't until my last week of OTS, when we were getting our assignments, that I found out that I'll be working on an airplane.
All
like
full
the
time.
Flight is the job is on an aircraft while flying.
Like, and you might as well be a pilot at that point.
Correct.
Yeah.
I was like, pause. This man told me something totally different. I'm like going around asking everybody, like, can I switch my jobs? I went to the military personnel flight. Can I switch jobs? How I get out of this? Even my flight commander was like, yeah, that job doesn't really fit your personality very well. And I was like, bro, all right.
I thought I was going to be an air traffic controller, man.
I'm telling you, going home every day.
Correct,
at the end of the day.
Air traffic control is actually a stressful job, though. I hear.
But I didn't know that either.
Okay.
So it was like, I would take it to be able to go home to dinner every night, right? And so, they were like, sorry, ma'am, you can't do that because you signed a 6-year contract to be in this job. And I was like, what? So I'm just like kind of like stressed out, but I'm saying, okay, cool, whatever. I was gonna take it on the chin, do the 6 years, and then cross train.
Yes.
So then I'll get down to Florida, and I've suffered from migraines since I was about 10 because it's just like hereditary.
Okay.
And so I got to Florida and I started having those migraines every single day.
Really?
And not knowing what I know now, I went to the doctor to get medicine because I can't have a migraine every day.
It'd be
like
a
you
headache,
can't function.
like, you can't at all.
And so went to the doctor, and then it was time for us to do some more training, and we had to go in the control room and do some controls and stuff. And they were like, "Oh, LT, you can't control. I was like, what you mean? It was like, you're DNIC, which basically means do not fly control for like medical reasons.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. So then I had to go back to the doctor like, hey, I can't do my job. Like, my job is to be in school right now and I can't do it. He's like, oh yeah, no, when you have migraines, you're disqualified from flying.
Okay. Like, is that a blessing? That's a blessing. That's a blessing.
So can I still stay in the Air Force though? Because like at this point, I only been in 2-3 months.
Oh,
y'all
okay. Yeah, y'all gonna put me out on medical. What's going on? Listen.
But so months and months. It took probably about 8 months. I had to basically go through a medical board.
Okay.
They determined that I could stay in the Air Force. I just had to switch jobs.
Okay.
The blessing came.
The blessing. I feel that.
Because then I got cross-trained into what I'm now doing, which is public affairs.
Okay.
So I'm now a public affairs officer, which completely fits with my personality because it's very much like communications and dealing with people. And so it's what I enjoy. I love doing it. I was able to cross-train into the job that I wanted, and God had me because He knew I probably wouldn't have made it in the good old boys club doing them 6 years on that plane.
That's 6 years on that. That's a long 6 years on that plane, flying every day. You over here like, hey, don't shoot nothing.
Bruh, I'm like, bro, I don't care what y'all do.
I feel that. That makes sense. Well, I'm happy, like, you got to transition into your new job, and then, it is a blessing in disguise, but sometimes that happens in life, unexpectedly, God comes in and works on you. So,
clutch.
Listen, so do you think public affairs is something that you'll do outside of the military?
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I actually have kind of dabbled in the possibility of just starting like my own kind of PR consulting.
Okay, that'll be nice.
Because like I do it for a living anyway, and so it's pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
And so that is something. I have a friend that I went to college with who does a lot of like brand consulting and PR work. And so one of these days, Britannica, I'm gonna give you a call.
Listen, because that is a big transition. It's like you transition from exercise science, military, as an air traffic controller. Now you have public.
Right?
That's a path.
All over the place. But like now, honestly, I will. Physical therapy, like I probably can't even do that, to be completely honest. Correct. I'm too squeamish. Like for somebody to come in with like a broken kneecap or a broken leg and.
It just,
I'm gonna be sitting, my stomach gonna turn it.
Like, hey, listen, I need you to go figure out something. Somebody. Come to me when you small broken.
Listen,
I can't deal with the big broken stuff.
When you like halfway through rehab, I can take over.
Correct, help you out.
Immediately out of surgery, I'm gonna be like,
listen, that's rough. That's rough.
I can't do it.
I feel you. All right. So, how do you stay motivated and focused now that you've reached this significant level of success that you're in?
Significant level of success.
Listen,
stretch.
It's not a stretch. You up there, Elizabeth Boss Lady. You up there. I'm not gonna tell you, but you up there.
I'm just a captain.
Listen, you up there.
But my promotion board is this month, so I should be promoted to major by the end of the year.
Look at God. Look at him. Hey, look.
Okay. Ask me the question again.
How do you stay motivated and focused now that you've reached where you are in life or this significant level of success?
So staying motivated, actually these last couple of years have been a challenge.
Okay.
Because my current job is just very difficult, high ops tempo, and it is pretty stressful. My last few jobs have been pretty stressful, honestly. And so, like I was overseas in Turkey when COVID kicked off. Oof. And that was just like difficult to maneuver. It was 12-hour days for a very long time because nobody knew what to do.
Correct.
And I had to communicate to people that nobody knew what to do, right? And then I moved from there to Germany when we started the Afghanistan evacuation, and the base I was at, Ramstein, was a huge part of that. It was like the main base that they brought everybody from Afghanistan to. Okay. So that was also super stressful. And then of course like the Ukraine thing happened. Yeah. And so it's just everything been stressful. And then I came here to the Air Force Academy, so it's not like any major like stressful events. It's just so much happening all the time. So much happening.
There's a school plus an academy. Like,
exactly.
It's a lot going
and like
on.
We're just like always in the news, which is my job. It's like handling the media and stuff. So like it's stressful.
It's stressful.
Right. Stressful. And so staying motivated has been a bit of a challenge. But what I have done is kind of a stress reliever for me is, like you said earlier, I cook. Okay. I grew up cooking. My mama put me in the kitchen when I was probably like 12. So I've been cooking since I was a kid. And so, like, people just be like, I cook for everybody. I like to host people at my house.
Listen, me and Jackson gonna start coming over to get plates. I'm not gonna. Me
y'all
and Jackson gonna be there. We're around the corner. We're gonna come get some plates.
Come on, y'all are welcome. And so, last January, actually, one of my friends posted on Facebook. She posted a picture of a plate, and it was like salmon, shrimp, and broccoli and garlic bread or something like that. And it was like, man, I wish people sold plates like this out here in Colorado Springs. And I was like, that's a 20-minute meal. What you mean you wish people like?
That's easy.
What? And it was like, so you gonna do it? And I said, are y'all buying? Because
yeah.
So that same weekend, I put out like a little message like, hey y'all, I'm selling these plates. You know, it was like $20, I think, for the plates. I offered desserts. I sold out that weekend.
Listen, I know that food good. I was
like, dang, I actually could probably do this as a side hustle, right? And so, I did another plate sale. I did like Alfredo plates a couple weeks later, sold out. And I was like, okay, we might got some motion going here, right?
Some stuff cooking in the oven.
Exactly.
Literally cooking in the oven.
Literally, you feel me? So I started doing that. So I started a little like catering business top of last year. Kaila B Cookin.
Kaila B Cookin. Go follow her. Kaila B Cookin. Listen.
And so I started that, and like I love to bake, I love to cook, so I try a lot of new recipes and do stuff like that. I do it all the time, and so now like my catering business is doing decent for I don't market really. It's really all word of mouth.
Okay.
And so I have people messaging me like, hey, I heard that banana pudding hit. Like, can I get an order? You sure can. What would you like? When would you like it?
What would you like it? What would you like? That
you
makes
send
sense.
me them dollars and you got it, baby. And so it's easy. And so that's what's been motivating for me. I'm in the kitchen all the time.
That's a great motivator.
Anybody call me, they're like, what you doing? In the kitchen. Like cooking.
I see it on the Snapchat. I'm like, she cooking. I'm always cooking. Listen,
but
I'm ready.
That's my release. Like, being in the kitchen is therapy for me. I get in there, I'll turn on a podcast or a sermon or an audio book or something like that, and it's just like, I'm just going. Yeah, and so that's what my motivation is right now.
Listen, I appreciate that motivation. Listen, I'm gonna give me a play and I'm gonna appreciate it real good. All right. So not to pivot, but this is our last question for your portion that you can ask me.
Okay.
But what legacy do you hope to leave behind, and how does your success contribute to that vision?
So the legacy that I want to leave behind is.
Don't get all quiet now. Listen.
I'm trying to figure out how to put it in words. Truthfully, I want my future children. I got kids that.
Yeah.
My future children to have something that they can hold on to, right? So like I said, I'm from the South. I'm from Georgia. My people ain't have nothing, right? So I've not been passed down anything. And so I want to have land, properties, and a healthy bank account.
To
pass down to my kids. Honestly, my kids. I want that legacy to still, be kind of like living, breathing thing. Like, oh yeah, grandma left us
some stuff.
Grandma left us some stuff.
She gave us stuff and we all get an inheritance.
Yeah, exactly that. That's where I am. And so, like we talked about, military, retirement. That once I retire at 45, that's constant free money.
You could do whatever you want full time at that point. Yeah,
exactly. And so, like I said, PR consulting is something that I may end up getting into, probably after the military, depending on what my next job is.
Okay.
But this cooking thing, I'll absolutely get it up off the ground.
It's not this cooking thing. It's cooking with Kaila.
It's Kaila B Cookin.
Okay, you're right. Kaila B Cookin. Listen. It's not this cooking thing. It's Kaila B Cookin.
I have to get more active, like with my online presence, right? So like I record a lot of my cooking and stuff that I do in the kitchen. I just don't be editing and posting the videos.
Listen, I got you.
So I do need to do that. But also that's an extra stream of income that is not like hard work for me. It's what I enjoy doing. So it's easy for me to make money doing that, which just helps me to build wealth. And this year the focus is like paying off debt. So using that extra stream of income to pay off a lot of more of my debt. That way I can start building that wealth a lot faster. So
that makes sense. I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree with you, especially on like the legacy thing. You know, I have my son and everything like that. Who's gonna come for some plates? Who's gonna come for some plates?
Jackson can get whatever he wants out of me.
Jackson can get the plates.
Jackson can get whatever he wants out of me.
But you know, like having legacies for our kids is so important. You know, passing something down. It even says biblically, you know, you should be having an inheritance for your children's children. So I think that's such an important thing. So do you have any questions for me, or what's some insights, or what you got for me?
I do, because you know the pod is here.
Listen, it's here.
You got guests on the pod now. So like, what was your initial when you said I'm gonna do this podcast because I want to motivate people? What's like your basis? And I know a couple episodes ago you talked about your mission and your vision statement, right? But like, what's your baseline, and like, where do you want to go with the podcast? Like, is this a part of the legacy that you want to leave, or is it headed towards something else?
A little bit of both. So like, there's some stuff called like evergreen content, which is like, you know, you post a YouTube video, it's there for years and years. People could look back about it. But one thing that really motivated me was a service that we had a couple months back, and it was talking about your circle of influence. And so specifically with this series and this podcast, I wanted to bring in and reach out to my circle of influence, the people that I know, the people that I have around me, and see how I could impact their lives, how their lives impact me, you know, learn more about them, like be in an actual authentic person in them and in real fellowship with them was extremely important to me. And then utilizing that relationship that I have to show the world and express to the world, hey, listen, this is people's dreams, this is their realities, this is what's going on with the people around us, and they can get, you know, an authentic view of that, and then maybe be motivated, get some good information, and then utilize that for some other things. So I think that was the kind of vision that I had for it. And I was like, you know, how do I incorporate, you know, what I love to do, which is speaking and helping people. You know, like, I love people around me, I love my community, and then how do I use that skill also to, you know, benefit the people around me, and also like help the people of the greater world. So that was a vision. That was a vision for me. Yeah.
Man, keep going, keep growing, keep pushing. Like, you can only get better, right? Okay. So I'll just say, being in like the PR world, I think the best way that you're gonna get yourself out there is just by continuously posting content, which I'm sure you already know.
Listen, gotta be committed, like, guys. It's the editing. I'm telling you, it's the editing.
It's the editing.
I be tired.
Hear me. It's the editing. But like, one thing that I always tell people, like, just make sure you always got a couple of, like you said, evergreen content, right? Make sure you always got a couple of episodes in your back pocket for those weeks where, and it's like, it's a hustle at first, right? Like, it's gonna be some sleepless nights because you're gonna be up editing a few videos. But once you have like that collection, you know, that portfolio, then you ain't gonna have to edit as much, right? And you'll be able to, like, all right, I'm gonna post once a week, or however often you post, right? You got your schedule going, and so that makes it a little bit easier. Yeah. And then that opens you up to like having time for other stuff too. Definitely, but like, man, keep pushing. It's a great platform. Like, what you're doing is great, and it's for the kingdom. So the Lord's gonna bless it as long as you stay obedient.
Listen, I'm gonna be obedient. I'm listening. He's telling me to be a voice, So I'm trying my best.
That's what's up.
Thank you. So again, guys, this is Christian McMillian and Kaila B. Whether you're overcoming obstacles, starting a business, looking for direction, I'm here to provide practical systems, accountability, and encouragement to help you succeed, right? So let's walk this journey together with Walk with Christian. I appreciate y'all guys and Kaila B Cookin, because I believe your dreams aren't just meant to be dreams. They're meant to be your realities, and you can do them. So I appreciate y'all dreamers and doers. Catch you guys next time. Bye.
See y'all.